Hi, Rafa.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, happy Christmas. I probably won't
Happy
see you
Christmas.
before.
Okay, that's good.
Um, Listen, we've just seen the quotes come out from Richarlison in the last few minutes. How important is it to you that the right message from players is coming out both on the pitch and off the pitch at the moment?
I think it's important for everyone. In this case, we knew that he had the problem. The conversation that I have had with him this morning was clear, and he recognized that he wanted to be on the pitch. He wanted to help, but he understand that we were trying to do the best for him at the same time and the best for the team, because with the problem with the strikers, we wanted to protect him. But okay, I think it's clear now. So a lot of people that they were talking at this time, they will realize that we were trying to do the best for the team, and that's it.
Yeah, because it put a lot of pressure on yourself, didn't it? But at this moment in time, the way things are, I guess that's really important that the right attitude, the right perception is put out there.
Yeah, I think it's important. I was talking today with some senior players, and everybody understand that it's important to stick together. Is crucial if we want to. When you have a difficult time, then if you stick together, you know that later on you will be stronger. So I think it's the same message that I am sending every time. So I have confidence that we will do well, and we have to be sure that the players are giving everything, and they are doing that. The reaction of the players on the pitch when we are losing is quite good. So they try until the end, and one thing is to be successful, one thing is to win games or not, but the other thing is to give everything on the pitch, and they are doing that. So that is the main message for me. They continue fighting and trying to do the best on the pitch, and hopefully we can avoid some mistakes and we'll have more chances to compete in every single game.
And on a wider issue, you seem to be the one fronting up at the moment with the issues going on. Would it be helpful to you if, say, the owner, Mr. Moshiri, came out and tried to calm the fan base about what the plan is going forward? Do you think that's needed?
To be fair, I was talking with Mr. Moshiri this morning. I have meetings with the chairman, with Denise, the chief executive. So I have conversation with them. They are supporting me because they know. I will say something that I said before. So they have experience changing managers. They have experience trying to adapt things, and it was not working. My feeling, and I don't know if you are an Everton fan or not, maybe not, but it doesn't matter. So, sorry, say again? You are?
Oh, I think I am, yeah.
Okay, that is fine. That is really good. Then, which is the feeling of the last years for any Everton fan? Success or frustration?
Yeah,
What do you think?
I don't think you need me to answer that question.
But so you know the answer, because I have a lot of friends that they are telling me the same. So they know that the problems are not just something that you can fix in 5 months. They know that you will need time, and they know that I think that we are going in the right direction. So one thing is what you can see on the pitch every weekend. Then the fans at the beginning, they could see what we were looking for. The intensity, the commitment, the way that we were playing. So everybody was delighted. Everybody was really happy. Then after the frustration of some years, everybody could see that we were going in the right direction. We cannot forget 2 or 3 things that sometimes people forget. It's just last year, the team was playing, or the squad was around 16 players on the pitch. You can do the numbers now, around 16 players during the whole season. That means that you have a lot of players that they were not available for different reasons. And some of them, a lot of them, they were injury prone. They have a lot of injuries. So they were losing around between 30-40% of the games because they were injured. So if you have 7 players and then you add some players like now we have players like Dominic was playing last year 85% of the games, and this year he's playing 18%. It's a massive difference. You lose Richarlison, that he was in the Copa America and the Olympic Games, 2 months injured with a bad tackle and a knee problem. And now he's injured because maybe has been overloaded. Like the majority of the other players, they are playing maybe more than they could expect if you manage a squad with 25 players, because we don't have too many. And then some of these players, they were not playing. Now we are trying to manage these problems of the past. We did well at the beginning. As soon as we have key players injured, then we have problems. And it's just to be sure that we take responsibility because we know that we can improve things, but sometimes you cannot stop a broken bone of Andrew Stoughton or a knee of Tom Davies or the metatarsal of Doucouré. So you cannot stop these things. You cannot control these things. You can try to avoid the others, the muscle injuries or these kind of things. But when you have players overload, like Richarlison is an example, then you have to deal with that. Then we are trying to deal with that. We will go to January. We'll try to improve the squad in terms of positions and names, and hopefully we can do well. And I'm sure that we will be much better in the second part of the league. If you have Dominic Calvert-Lewin for 3-4 months fit, I'm sure that the team will be higher in the table and the fans will be happy at the end.
Yeah, you found the job bigger than what you thought from the outside. Now you've had 5-6 months. Have you found it more difficult or a bigger job than you expected?
Yeah, I don't know exactly the meaning of bigger. I would say more difficult. No, maybe that is the reason why. So I knew about the challenge, but it's more difficult because at the beginning we identified the problems. After 1 month, we could see a lot of things that we wanted to change, but you cannot change things. I say so many times, Rome was not built in 1 day. So you cannot change everything. But when we were in this process, and we have big injuries, important injuries. We couldn't play Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison at the same time. Then we lost Doucouré when he was doing really well. Jerry Mina. So we're losing key players in the spine of the team. And we are bringing back players, but still we are overloading the others. So then that is the reason why on the pitch you can see sometimes that the team is not doing exactly what we are expecting. Still we are losing games because we are making mistakes, individual mistakes. Then we are working on all these things. The attitude of the players is quite good. So the majority of them, they are giving everything and they try their best. Then I'm sure that if we can add some people and then we bring back these players that they are key players for us, we will be stronger. And I will repeat again, and I don't want to say this after every press conference or every game or something, but I am sure 100% that the team will be much better and the second part of the league we will be in a good position and the fans will be happy with the way that the team is playing in terms of intensity, commitment, all these things. If you want to change other things, then you have to adapt things that maybe we don't have at the moment, and it depends on the transfer window and that we can adapt these things.
Just a couple more for me, quick ones. With regards to Chelsea, how do you approach that game? Because I guess there's a risk of sitting back and hoping to catch them on the counter-attack, isn't there, with Chelsea? They have a strong offensive line.
Yeah, I think that everybody can see that the top sides, normally they have the possession, normally they are on top of you, and then they push and push. We were quite good in the counter-attack at the beginning. We have players up front that they have some pace. So then you have to adapt your system, your way to play, depending on the players that you have. You try to implement things, but what I said before, if you have important players injured, then you have to adapt everything depending on that. Then what we want to do there is just to be strong enough in defense and then play good counter-attack. If I say, no, we will have plenty of possession with the players that we have at the moment, so we know that we have to manage in a different way. And we were successful at the beginning. Hopefully we can be successful during the year, and hopefully we can be successful tomorrow.
Just a final one for me then. With regards to, it's one we're asking all Premier League managers, with regards to the transfer window, would you take into account a player's vaccination status before you sign someone? Is that something that might be in the back of the mind?
Yeah, to be fair, we have had this week a couple of meetings, and then we encourage the players to get the vaccine, to have everything under control for them, for the families, for everyone around. But at the end, it depends on them. Then if you see a player, if you like a player, you will try to give the same advice, but it's up to him. So, but we will continue encouraging the players to get the vaccines.
Thanks, Rafa. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. We'll go to Ivan Gaskell, please, at Premier League Productions.
Hi, Rafa. Nice to see you.
Hi. Nice to see you.
Just really on your current situation, just to elaborate, really. So obviously, I don't really need to throw the stats at you, but I'm going to anyway. 7 defeats in 9, 14th, injuries mounting up. I wonder how the current situation at a big club like Everton, how that challenge compares to any other you've faced, and you've got lots of experience to draw on, and how do you use that experience now?
Yeah, to be fair, I will say to you that because I have a lot of experience in different countries and different situations. So don't forget that I was promoting with teams, trying to avoid the relegation with others, and then winning trophies with others. So I have been in all the possible situations that you can think. And then the best way to do that is just to, what I did today again. So talk with senior players, talk with your staff, analyze everything that you are doing, and try to make the right decisions. When at the beginning of the season, when we were doing so well, I was telling my staff, we are doing every single decision right. The team selection, the system, the substitutions, everything was right. Now, when you have less options, sometimes you have to consider what is available for you. And then if 3 different people has 3 different opinions, means that something is wrong. Because if you have Messi, nobody would say, oh, Messi's on the bench. Okay, play Messi. Everybody will know that you have to play Messi. But when you have different opinions and everybody is right, means that we have to consider that it's a little bit difficult, and then we need to just keep working hard, trying to be sure that we make less mistakes than as usual.
Sounds like you need to sign Messi.
Could be. I don't know if we can pay the wages.
Just on, I think what you were saying to Alan just a moment ago, it struck me that what you were saying to the fans is patience. And as we all know, it's in short supply. How do you convey that message and take the fans with you in the next couple of months where things are obviously tricky?
Yeah, I think we talk about the fans with me. The fans, they don't need to be with me. They have to be with his team, with his manager, and with the players, and supporting the club. So they did that from day one. So when people were speculating about what will happen, the fans were amazing from the beginning. So every single game we had the fans behind, and when we were conceding, the fans were supporting the team, reacting, and then enjoying at the end because we were winning. So that is what I am saying all the time. This is or these are the things that we are looking for. This is the environment that we want every single game, and it depends on us on the pitch, and it depends on them in the stands supporting the team. I think that is very clear, and the fans, the majority of the fans, they know that. But we cannot help if we cannot win games. And I would say we have to give everything. They have to realize that the 4 or 5 years or whatever in the past has been frustration. Then now we are trying to change something, and we have the experience to do it. We did it in another clubs in the Premier League and also in another countries. So we can do it. It's just to be sure that we stick together, because that is crucial for us as a club, for the players, for the team, and the senior players. And you will be surprised with some of the senior players that they have been here for years. They know exactly what I'm talking about. They know exactly the problems, and they know that we have to find a solution, and they think that we're going in the right direction. But you have to win games, and then the people more emotional, they will understand that. But the people more analytic, I think that they know exactly what is going on.
And you touched on the Chelsea game. I mean, they've lost 1 in 15 in all competitions, winning 10 of them. And obviously, there's a big gap between you and them right now. I wonder if there's a danger that the players could almost be beaten before they go on the pitch. How do you get the psychology right to approach a fixture like this?
So the first thing that we did yesterday was starting working on the ideas, how we want to play, how we want to approach the game. And today was another training session doing the same. And then we finished the training session, and I was encouraging them to do exactly the same. So be sure that we go there with the idea to win the game. So we are not going to win the game. When I say that, I don't want any people with maybe just taking advantage of that. Say, no, on the front foot, if you want to win, sometimes you have to win in the counter-attack. And then you are telling me the stats of Chelsea. So nobody can expect that we will go there and we will be having 70% of possession, and it will be impossible. Why? Because it's just 15 games and proving you that it's like that, and the last 2 or 3 years, they are proving you that it's like that. Chelsea is quite strong, and then we have to have a plan that we can get the best from our players, and then try to take advantage of the weaknesses of Chelsea, that there are not too many.
Thanks, Ivan. We'll
Thank
go
you.
to Alistair McGowan, please, at the BBC.
Rafa.
Hi.
I just wondered, obviously, you mentioned about Richarlison there, but is there any update on Andros Townsend and Seamus Coleman injuries in terms of how long they might be out for?
No, in terms of time, no. You know that Andrew has a broken bone, so that takes some time. We need to see how much, what they say, the specialist. And in terms of Seamus, he was pushing, so he has a swollen foot, but he's pushing. He's someone that he wants to help. So we are assessing him, and then we will decide about tomorrow.
You mentioned there that you'd spoken to the owner, Fahad Mashouri. I just wondered whether you could tell us what his message was to you in terms of the support he's given you, because obviously there's been a lot of criticism from fans in particular, but what sort of message of support has he given to you?
I will tell you, obviously I cannot give you all the details of a private conversation, but when I talk with the owner, with the chairman and with the chief executive, and I talk with them, I would say nearly every day, we are talking about what we want to do, what we are already doing for the future. So we are not just talking about the present, that we are also concerned about that because we want to win, but we are just thinking about the future. And then we are thinking about January, and not just January. After January, what can we do to be sure that the team and the squad is stronger? Don't forget what I said before. This squad was using 16 players, 16. So that means that, and we have lost some of them. So then we have to be sure that we are strong enough for this January transfer window. We have to be ready, and for the future too. And the conversations are quite positive and more about constructive, but that what we want to do or what we are doing now already, and support. It's just all the time. So everybody wants to win, but at the same time they know that it's a difficult time and we have to stick together.
So you feel secure in your position?
Yeah. So what I said before, when I came here, I came with the idea to be 3 years plus something with the new stadium. So what I say, experience means that sometimes you have difficult times, but still you have to keep doing your job the best way that you can, and then you know that one game can change everything. Don't forget that one game will put us in the top 10, and we are talking about what is going on, and we know that we have some injuries, and we know that if they come back we will be stronger.
Just last of all, with regard to the injuries that you've had this week, has that made you go to the owner or the hierarchy and say that basically you need more players in January? Has this strengthened your resolve to bring more players in January because of the injury crisis?
No. They knew already, and we are working on that we needed to strengthen the squad. So if you listen to me, when I say 16 players available the last year and even this year, means that still you have around 9 players that you are not using too much. That is the reason why we want to improve, and that is the reason why the fans are always expecting in January we can bring someone else. And the difficulty about January is that you don't have maybe some of the players that you want available, so you have to be sure that you bring someone that can help the team now, but at the same time, if you can bring someone that can help the team now and it's good for the future, you are improving the squad already. So I didn't need to tell them anything because we have been already working on that.
Thanks, Alistair.
Thank you.
We'll go to Mike Hughes, please, at Radio Merseyside.
Hi there, Rafa.
Hi. Okay.
Yeah, fine, thank you. You mentioned the phrase there, getting the best out of the players, and a manager of a football club has many jobs. That's the most important of the lot of them. Do you think at the moment that you are getting the best from the players? Because some of the second half in particular against Arsenal, Everton, fantastic, but it was back to what we've seen too much of recently against Crystal Palace, and that must frustrate you. The Everton players you have, even with the injuries, they've got to be better than that, surely.
Yeah, but the second half against Crystal Palace, we were on top of them. We could draw the game a couple of times, so then we consider a late goal and change a little bit the perception. But the reality is that the team is reacting. If you analyze, I don't know how many games was playing Anthony Gordon last year. This year, he's playing, he's growing, he's improving. But then you could see Doucouré scoring goals, he's improving. Ben Godfrey now, after the COVID and then the first month, is improving. Then you can see players, obviously I will not talk about Gray or Townsend, that they were giving us a lot of things. But we are missing important players. That means that the players around, they have to manage in a different way, because you don't have the players that will make the difference, and the players that normally you rely on them to make the difference. So I think that a lot of players, they are improving, and you see Coleman and you see Alan playing more minutes, but some of the problems are the same problems. You cannot change the problems in just signing 3 players. So we signed 3 players and 2 keepers, spending 1.7 million. So you don't expect to find a solution to 4 or 5 years of issues. And we are going little by little, trying to fix problems, and we will need some time. And again, and I have to say that, I am quite positive that we will do it.
There was an improvement second half against Crystal Palace, but Everton started slowly again, didn't they? They started slowly against Wolves, better in the second half, slowly against Brentford, better in the second half.
Yeah.
Playing one half well in the Premier League generally doesn't get you much, does it?
Yeah, each game is different. And then people were talking about tactics and systems, and then we changed to 3 in the middle against Crystal Palace because we wanted to keep the ball better. And we have to adapt quickly because they were on the front foot at the beginning. Then we need to react, and then little by little we were getting stronger. So sometimes it's what you want to do, and sometimes it's what the other team allows you to do, and it depends on the players that you have, and it depends on the problems that you have that you can manage. So if you don't have 3 or 4 players, when we didn't have Doucouré, we didn't have the energy in the middle of the pitch. So we brought Delph that was helping the team, and then we brought Andre Gomez, but these players, they were not playing for a while. So Andre Gomez was not playing, was 66 or 70 days without training with the team. Then he came and he helped the team against Arsenal, but you cannot expect that he will be match fitness 3-4 days after. So it's impossible.
And I know you mentioned before about the amount of sort of fit and available players you've had for much of the season. The injury problems recently sort of exacerbate that problem. Is it possibly time now to reintegrate Luca Dean into the squad? I know he hasn't had the best of times himself, and he's had injuries, but he's experienced. He's a natural left footer, playing in a position where having a natural left footer there can be advantageous. Is it time now maybe to kiss and make up?
I cannot agree more than with you than that. Lucas Digne is a good player. He was an important player for us. And then yesterday we did a training session and he was in the 11 starters. And today he said that he was ill and then he's not available for tomorrow.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
We'll go to Carl Markham, please.
Hi, Rafa. I'll keep it brief. Just on the other 2, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Alan, what are the where are we with those in terms of recoveries?
5 minutes ago, before to start the press conference, I met Dominic, and he was quite positive. He was training well, so he's getting really, really close now. With him, the only issue is that to be sure that we don't take too much risk because he has had 2 re-injuries. So then we want to be sure that he's 100% fit, and then he will be, as I said before, hopefully he will be a crucial player for us in the second part of the league. So it's very close, and then I think we will see him soon. And in terms of Alan, he has been training, so it's okay. So we have to also keep an eye on him, but he has been training today. It was a light training session, to be fair, but he could train. And I would say in his favor that it doesn't matter that if he has any issues. The last game against Arsenal, he was the last 10-15 minutes playing with his adductor and then with problems, and then he was playing and he wants to help, so he's quite positive. And he told me also this morning that he's ready to help the team, and if I need him, he will be available because he's a warrior, he's a fighter.
Thank you.
Cheers.